So why do you need a brush for climbing? Well, climbing holds tend to get dirty, sweaty, full of chalk, and when they're like that, they just don't work as well. So if you carry a brush with you, you can clean that vital hold, which might give you that extra little bit of grip for your send. Now, brushes can be used indoors or outdoors, and especially indoors they're useful because there's so many people coming through those holds, there's so much chalk being used on them and so much grease that they need a good clean. So basically, a brush is absolutely vital for climbing. You're gonna need one at some point, so you might as well buy a good one. So what are you looking for in a climbing brush? Well, generally they come in two main sizes, big for bouldering or small for sport climbing. This is a brush by Ibs. It's a very simple design, just simple wood with some bristles on the end. Now, the problem with a lot of brushes, well, there's two problems with most brushes. One is that the bristles tend to wear down very quickly, and two, that the area where the handle, stem, I was gonna say, meet the head, that area can snap. You're putting a lot of pressure through there when you clean a rock, and it's the weak point of any climbing brush. I have snapped basically every single climbing brush that I've ever owned at some point. I've never snapped a Sublime brush. Enough said, really. So let's talk about Sublime brushes. There's two main models, the Premium and the Slimline. This is the premium version, and think about it as more of your bouldering style of brush, and I'll go into why in a second. It's made out of this hard, plasticky stuff, which is super chunky and bomber. Now, this area where I was talking about the weak point, as I said, I've never snapped it, I've never even weakened it. And I think that's because of the strength of this material that's used, and also the fact there's a tiny bit of flex in it. So that means when you're scrubbing it, it's not just a solid piece of wood that doesn't move. That flex allows the brush to actually be stronger. Now, the head is where things get super exciting. There's something like 9,000 bristles in a Sublime brush. This is the boar's hair model. You can also get it in nylon, and with the Slimline, there's a vegan-friendly version as well. Hugo behind the camera as a vegan. That will impress him. The bristles are very, very sturdy, because the problem is you want bristles that are going to stand up to that cleaning abuse but aren't so harsh that they damage the rock. As you can see with this one, it is tapering off towards the front. That is mainly because of my bad brushing style. You should always try to brush evenly throughout the brush. But I've used this for 2 solid years, and the fact that there's a little tiny bit of like wear at the end, I think that's kind of a good payoff for 2 years of climbing. With the Premium model, there's this little secret compartment in the end. Now, you can put things in there like lip balm, or Climb On do a little lip balm that's shaped like that. So, excuse me, so you can slip that in there when your tips get sore. There's also plans for Sublime to use that extension onto one of those sort of poles. So, you know, for example, in font, when there's that out of reach crimp that you need to brush, you can screw this onto the pole and use that as a brush, but that product isn't out yet. Now, honestly, I've never used this compartment. I can never really see myself using the compartment, but it's there if you want it. And the handle itself is really nice and chunky. Now, the problems with this Premium brush, there are 2 main ones that I can see. Number one, this is a normal black diamond chalk bag, and this is the hole where you put your climbing brush, and the Premium just doesn't really fit in it. It's a super struggle to force it in, and you have to force it in and then it gets stuck and you have to tug on it, so that's irritating on chalk bags. For my bouldering bucket, I just keep it in the zip up section at the front. It doesn't get jammed anywhere then. The second problem is the sheer size of this head angle. It's great for the bigger holds or for slopers, but if you get a little crimp that's a little bit of a weird shape and you really want to get in there, this isn't so good for that. So I see this as your perfect bouldering brush. So the Slimline is more of a sport climbing brush compared to the Premium. Now, I had one of these, I've been using it for a year since I was given it by Sublime, and last night I lost it at a crag. Sorry about that. But here's a little chat with Tom Randall that I had with him in the boardroom last year when he initially came out with this product.
Yeah, so it's out in the shops in Europe and in the States, actually in Japan as well. And it's the Slimline brush, and this is our second brush that we brought out subsequent to the original S1 brush. Key thing for us was that we wanted to still get a large brush head that had a really nice high bristle density, because obviously this affects the cleaning power of the brush. Yep. So we've maintained that, lots and lots of bristles, really high density still. We have it in the option of the nylon or the natural boar's hair. We've kept the main element of the brush heads very, very similar between those two. We've really slimmed down the handle now, so it hasn't got the secret compartment we had before. Really importantly for the design of the neck is we've kept this as a really high durability neck. If you snap one of our brushes, then you've done very well indeed.
Okay.
One final feature that isn't always so noticeable is that we've also made a wedge in the shape of the bristles on the brush, because anyone who's used their brush a lot will notice that the front of the brush always wears down first.
Yep.
So this is our effort to try and mitigate against that and make the brush last a little bit longer so it wears down more evenly.
That makes a lot of logical sense. So with the Slimline, it fits very nicely into your chalk bag, and that head is better, in my opinion, for sport climbing routes when you get those smaller crimps. And the whole brush is lighter. The Premium is quite a weighty thing, and it's quite bulky. So although obviously that won't affect your climb, it does sort of get in the way of your chalk bag, whereas the Slimline just fits nicely, it's very discreet, and it won't get in the way at all. Slimline also has 9,000 bristles. It's built with the same kind of material, so very, very strong. And again, because that the whole thing is one size, the head doesn't snap off from the handle, or I haven't managed to yet. So that's it, a little overview of the Sublime range. Think about it like the Premium. This one is a tank, and the Slimline is like an F1 car, and you won't go far wrong. Now, I'd love to hear your opinion on Sublime brushes. Of course, there are loads on the market. There are fancy ones made of plastic, ones made of wood, ones with cool colors on them, and everyone has their favorite brush, or that's what I found anyway. So let me know what you think. Let me know the brush you use, and also, has anyone actually ever managed to break one of these? If so, tell me how below. That's it. With all these products, you can buy them at the Epic TV shop, and there's links below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.